Garmin Forerunner 35 might be the ideal pick if you're searching for a cheap GPS watch to join you on runs and other outdoor pursuits. It's been 2 years since it was released, but the price has dropped dramatically since then, making it excellent value for money. Its feature set, in fact, puts it up against more costly multisport watches like the 180-pound Garmin Vivoactive 3 and the 143-pound Polar M430. The Forerunner 30 is a less expensive, more basic option from Garmin, but the added capabilities of the Forerunner 35 make it well worth the extra £30. What you need to know about the Garmin Forerunner 35. The Forerunner 35 has pretty much everything a sports watch should have. It uses GPS to monitor running, cycling, and walking, and it also has an indoor activity mode. It will track your steps, calories burned, intensity minutes, and distance traveled throughout the day, much like all of Garmin's fitness devices. An optical heart rate monitor maintains track of your pulse during exercise and during rest, and if you wear it overnight, it will track your sleep cycles. You can also establish a virtual pacemaker and measure your cadence while jogging, which is something not all GPS-enabled trackers can do. When you pair the Forerunner 35 with your phone, it sends alerts to your wrist and syncs all of your fitness data to the Garmin Connect app, where you may spend hours looking over it. The Forerunner 35 has an advantage over the Forerunner 30 in that it can use external ANT+ sensors. This means you can pair it with a chest strap heart rate monitor or Garmin's FootPod to measure indoor exercises correctly. In contrast to the 35's many activity modes, the Forerunner 30 must depend on its own internal sensors and is confined to running. The Forerunner 35 does have one noticeable flaw: it does not have a swimming mode, despite being waterproof to 50 meters. Price and competition for the Garmin Forerunner 35. The Garmin Forerunner 35 costs roughly £130, while the 100-pound Garmin Forerunner 30 is its primary competitor. This is a more basic version of the Forerunner 35, as I've explained. It's fantastic for runners, but not so much for cycling or other activities. The Garmin Vivosport is another choice with similar capabilities and a comparable price to the Forerunner 35, but it's more of a fitness band than a watch. The Polar M430, priced at £143, is an outstanding running watch with minimal swimming and cycling options. If you prefer linked GPS, the Fitbit Versa and Fitbit Charge 3 are both fashionable alternatives with strong fitness tracking features. Review of the Garmin Forerunner 35. Design and features. Smart watches, fitness trackers, and sports watches are available in a variety of designs and sizes. Although the Fitbit Flex is stylish and durable, it could easily be mistaken for a friendship bracelet. The sleek Apple Watch 4 is on the opposite end of the spectrum, with a big 44mm screen, provided you're prepared to spend. The Forerunner 35 is in a category of its own in this market. It has a pretty simple appearance, but I think it to be rather appealingly understated. As they say, less is more. It's also comfy to wear because of the square design that lays perfectly on the wrist. A little 23.5mm screen occupies the front. It's monochrome, but it's crisp enough to see incoming messages well. It also lacks touch support, although that isn't an issue. The device's numerous capabilities are controlled by 4 buttons on the sides, which make it incredibly simple to skim through choices whether jogging, strolling, or sitting at your desk writing. When pushed momentarily, the top left button turns the device on and off, while the lower left button brings you to settings and may also be used as a back button. The bottom right controls music playing from your phone and allows you to navigate through settings or messages. A quick note: if you're listening to Spotify on your iPhone, you won't be able to skip songs with the Forerunner 35 since it only works with Apple Music for now. However, if you're using that platform, it's really responsive and performs great while running. If you've invested in Spotify, you'll have to rely on your headphones' hands-free features. Finally, The top right button switches to exercise mode, where you may choose among indoor and outdoor running, cycling, walking, and aerobics. The battery is perhaps my favorite feature about the Forerunner 35. That may reflect poorly on me, but I like to wear a watch with the assurance that it will not fail me before I reach home. On a single charge, the Forerunner 35 provided me an easy 7 days, during which I averaged 2 cardio exercises each day and went on multiple GPS-enabled runs. That included a 10-mile run that lasted just over an hour and during which the battery indicator did not drop a single notch. Given that the screen is constantly on, it's very stunning. This is great for fitness buffs since it eliminates the need for exaggerated motions to check a screen while working out. The information you need is always only a glance away with the Forerunner 35. Although there aren't many wristwatch capabilities, alerts and messages arrived swiftly as soon as I got them on my phone. The one caveat is that graphical characters all appear as question marks, so you can tell when you've received an emoji message, but not which ones. You can also use the watch to answer or reject a call, however, since it lacks a speaker and a microphone, this is likely only useful when used hands-free. Review of the Garmin Forerunner 35. Activity and fitness tracking. The Garmin Forerunner 35 has a nice appearance and feel to it, but it truly shines when it comes to activity monitoring. It has 5 training modes: aerobic, indoor running, outdoor running, walking, and cycle, the first 2 of which do not use GPS to monitor your fitness data and have a low battery drain. Indoor athletes of all sorts, from cross-trainers to weightlifters, will find the Forerunner 35 especially appealing. Regardless of the mode you choose, the Garmin Forerunner 35 provides a wide range of training possibilities. You may quickly set up a virtual pacemaker for running that will notify you when your running speed changes. If you're looking for a personal best or want to establish a more consistent running technique, an useful little alert pops up alerting you if you're ahead, on track, or behind your pace. I was particularly ecstatic to learn that all of the workouts included interval training choices. Before beginning your exercise, you can quickly set up a sequence of intervals, as well as rest time, so you can build a well-coordinated HIIT workout directly from your living room. When it comes to outdoor usage, the Forerunner 35 is just as impressive. I run across London on a daily basis to get to work, and certain trackers, like as the Samsung Gear Sport, struggle to obtain a solid GPS signal as I weave between the big buildings. In a couple of seconds, the Forerunner 35 latched on and began following me throughout London. It only stopped working once when I went underground at Charing Cross Station, and I can't blame it for that. When you're on the treadmill or otherwise out of GPS coverage, the Forerunner 35 provides you an useful cadence reading and even learns from your running style to give you more accurate results. I haven't been able to put this to a scientific test, but it appears to be filling in the gaps with distance and speed data, so Garmin may be onto something. My only regret with the Forerunner 35 occurred when, at one point, the virtual pacer seemed to be a touch slow to realize that I had upped my speed, which was discouraging on a long run. But it's possible that I was simply wary and imagined I was moving faster than I was. Overall, the watch properly tracked my 10-mile journey, recording the right distance and total time. For those of you who like park runs, the Forerunner 35 reported my Woodhouse Moor Park run distance as 4.95 kilometers. That's just 50 meters off, or 1%, which isn't awful. Furthermore, I was running under a tree line and was surrounded by runners the whole time, so the outcome is much more astounding. After I was done, the watch automatically uploaded the data to my Strava account, which you can link to using the Garmin Connect app. Another fantastic feature is the always-on heart rate tracker, which makes it simple to measure and compare your efforts. On the walk, you can see average and live heart rate statistics, or use the smartphone app to see it in more detail. If you want to go any further, you can use ANT Plus to link the Forerunner 35 to an external heart rate monitor. The VO2 max reading is also a very useful tool for people looking to improve their fitness, and the sleep analysis function, at the end of the day, separates deep and light sleep. I've compared nights in which I slept badly to evenings in which I slept well, and the watch seemed to tell the difference. All of this data is available via the Garmin Connect app, which is available for both Android and iOS. The data from the watch is automatically sent at regular intervals, or you may manually activate and upload for immediate examination. The software presents the data in a very thorough and obvious manner. The heart rate and speed overlap graph, for example, is both interesting and informative. In the image below, you can see how the Forerunner 35 registered when I first started performing sprints during my most recent track lesson. For the 2200 meter sprints we conducted, both the heart rate and speed spikes are right on, which is especially amazing given that I utilized the cardio function rather than GPS for that exercise. The Forerunner 35 is just slightly lacking in a few areas. To begin with, although being waterproof, it lacks a true swim tracking capability. The Connect app allows you to collect cardiac data and afterwards categorize it as a swimming session, but it would be wonderful to be able to glance down between lengths and see how far you've swum or check your stroke rate. The Forerunner 35 also misses a few capabilities included in recent trackers, such as the body battery and stress level analysis found in the Vivo Smart 4. You may not need such qualities, but they are beneficial if you are concerned about your general health. Review of the Garmin Forerunner 35. The Forerunner 35 is a sports watch where less is more, and that's a reasonable summation of what you get: less expense, less faff, and more features. It meets all of the runners or training athletes' basic demands, collects a large quantity of health data, and makes reviewing and analyzing sessions via the app a breeze. Furthermore, ANT Plus sensor support allows you to go for maximum accuracy, and the ability to monitor messages and alerts is a nice plus. Meanwhile, the long battery life ensures it won't die in the midst of a half marathon. For all of these reasons, the 170-pound Garmin Forerunner 35 was a very appealing prospect when it was released in 2016. It's almost enticing now that it's almost 50 pounds cheaper. Are you like Garmin Forerunner 35? Please share your experience in the comments column. Take this watch in Amazon, link in the description.